The only sprint of this year's Tour of Oman, but pretty good competition in attendance, including 2 riders on new teams desperate for a win to start their season. It started in the Oman Across Ages Museum and then finished at the Oman Convention Exhibition Centre. And a lot of the other stages in this race are either really hilly or straight up mountainous, with Green Mountain the big GC day. This was the only nailed on sprint, and there wasn't really crosswinds either to make it more, likely that action would happen like sometimes has happened in UAE Tour. The Oman national team led us out to start the stage, and those sprinters I'm talking about are Caleb Ewan on Jayco-Alula, who has gone close a couple of times but was wanting to open his account, and Team DSM Firmenich, who signed Dutch sprinter Fabio Jacobsen, who left Quick-Step last year. So they were the 2 teams chasing all day. We've also got Coquard here on Cofidis. UAE, I think, are here primarily for they are here primarily for GC with Fisher Black, Adam Yates, but they got Hodge, who's their sprinter as well, the Colombian. There's also Christoph, who's he's not as good as he was in the bunch sprints, frankly. If Varenskold was here, they'd probably go for Varenskold. But here's the lineup, as you can see. They're all getting into formation, closer to the finish. Jayco and DSM on the left-hand side. Lotto Destiny there. Syriza, the big bear, is the sprinter for Astana. And Quick-Step are going for Paul Magnier, not Merlier, who came here last year and won, but Magnier, who already won in Spain in January. He is really, really fast, even though he doesn't look fast, but he is really, really fast. He looks like a puncher. He kind of looks like Mauro Van Sevenot with a couple more kilos on him. But these huge wide roads are so difficult to get right with timing and positioning. Yeah, there's a couple of roundabouts, but you can still maintain high speed through them. And, Cherney's on the front here for Quick-Step, but DSM and Quick-Step, I would say, didn't get it right. UAE are just keeping Yates in good position, I think, for crashes. But then Intermarché were too deep, as you can see in the bottom here. And the teams that eventually did get it right were about mid-pack here, Jayco and UNOX, as well as Cofidis with Coquard on the right-hand side as well. So you want to be not right at the back, but probably spending your riders on right at the front with 5Ks to go didn't seem to be the way to go. Although Jayco did do that, but their plan was to put Ewan on a wheel rather than sort of lead him out as the first man. And yeah, DSM, it was a bit of a shambles in the end. They looked really, really good. They maintained good position on the side of the road, but then as they got closer, 2Ks to go, they got waved over by UNOX. And UNOX, honestly, one of the best lead-outs in the world, top 5 for sure across all races. They just haven't had the sprinter to finish off that work. And the 3 riders that come top 3 in this stage are all around the same spot with good draft. Not too close to front, not too far behind either. Whereas Jacobsen is going to realize pretty quickly that as they're going through the Flamme Rouge in a second, he is way too far to the front. He's third wheel right now, and they haven't gone through the Flamme Rouge. And so 2 riders in front of him is not going to be able to lead him out to an uphill drag with a kilometre left. So he decides wisely to go backwards a little bit. He slots onto maybe 5th wheel. And then his lead-out riders decide, well, we're not going to continue doing a lead-out if our sprinter's not on our wheel, which is probably the right thing to do as well. They peel off here looking for Jacobsen. The problem is they decelerate a lot. The last man tries to go in front of Jacobsen, and that then allows Quick-Step on the left-hand side here to really move up fast, the outside, who kept pedaling, which they had to do it. But the problem with what Quick-Step did was that they did that now into a bit of a crosswind. So there's a crosswind coming from their left shoulder, left to right, as we're looking at it here. Magnier is on the wheel of Lamperti. Ewan, Coquard, and Christoph, you can throw a blanket over those guys who do well in this sprint, about 3rd wheel deep and very nicely sheltered from that left to right. Whereas Syriza and Magnier and Lamperti really have to eat a fair bit of wind in this final sprint. And as it moves over to the right-hand side, you can see Jacobsen, he had the wheel of Coquard, he had the wheel on the right-hand side. He just didn't seem to have the legs because Magnier moves up on top of him and then just basically, does his own sprint. I think Lamperti leaves Magnier a little bit in the wind here as Christoph opens it up. And with 150 meters to go, Ewan coming out of the wheel, uphill drag, Coquard on his wheel. Ain't nobody beating him. He's still a good sprinter, Caleb Ewan. I think the only guy really quick enough would have been Magnier, who finishes really, really strong, but Ewan wins this pretty comfortably with Coquard in the draft. So Jayco-Alula rewarded for their work, and look at those flags. Ewan, Christophe and Coquard rewarded for keeping that position with this finish, and Magnier had to do way, way too much, but I think he might be, if not the fastest, the second fastest at Tour of Oman. But this was the only sprint stage. But just write them down in your little black book. Paul Magnier is legit fast. Quickstep just didn't get it 100% right today, and Ewan did, and Jayco-Alula did, so they'll be happy. DSM a little bit less so. Jakobsen giving up at the finish, chasing all day for 3.5 hours, but Lotto Destiny had a bit of a taste of that with Ewan last year. That's all from me. I'll see you with Stage 2 tomorrow. Ciao.